What's going on today, guys? All right, so we back again. I figured let's just keep this Monstera train going, right? So today we're going to talk about my Monstera Standleyana. Let me let you get a close-up on her. All right, the Monstera Standleyana. All right, so this plant actually means something to me because this was a Father's Day gift for me. My wife actually unexpectedly put the most expensive plant on the tray when we was getting ready to pay for the plants. Last minute impulse, she was like, "Boo, I think you'll like this one." And I was like, "Yeah." Threw it in there. That plant was $150. Yeah. All right. That's some other stuff we're gonna talk about. Let's go ahead and get into it. This plant right here at the time was marketed as a philodendron cobra. You remember what I told you at the beginning? I was into every single rare plant that I think that I could find that would make me just the coolest plant person, you know? And then you realize that a lot of people don't know what these plants are. So, I mean, they just see a plant, so they don't know how much you paid for it. So then, you know, some reality kind of started seeking into me. It was like, you know what, Sean, you can just get some really just basic plants and really just do your thing with it. But let's get back to the Standleyana. This, again, was marketed as a philodendron cobra, so I went ahead and, you know, wanted to have it. When it got rolled up, my wife looked at me sideways. She's like, "Ooh," I was like, "I know, but I want it." You know, it's already there, so we got it. I have probably done about 3 or 4 chops off of this plant as far as going up. It is a very, very fast grower, I would say, as long as it has something to be able to grow and climb up on. I did have a problem with the mother plant. The mother plant was one of those plants that caught thrips as well. And I chopped it all the way back, and the pieces that I did get from it that did root, I just gave them away to the mothers of the family. And I just kept, you know, the one that I've been growing for a while. It is more common now to see this plant into the big box stores, and they're selling them for $29. They, of course, are not on a moss pole. They probably come about this tall, and their leaves aren't as big as this. But guys, this is just because this plant's mature a little bit more. But the price of them is only $30, and I think that they grow pretty fast. And I think if you give these the care that I'm about to describe to you, I think within a year time, you could pretty much get some really good sized leaves on your plant. Again, this is just 2 pieces of the plants that's just growing up. It is 2 pieces that's down here. One on this side and the other one is on the other side, and I just grew them straight up like that. So there used to be 2 cuttings and boom. So you're looking at 2 cuttings. The care for this plant, I recently put these into a self-watering pot, and I'm very happy with that. This is also, since it's a Monstera, it prefers the soil to be moist all the time. Again, because I'm bad with watering, that's why I like the philodendrons, that I just skip too many waterings in between this plant, and it always would be looking droopy, and then I have to give it some water and wake it up. Luckily enough, it's a forgiving plant as well, but I know that in doing that, it wasn't probably the healthiest for the plant. So now I've resolved that with the self-watering containers. So again, guys, if that's something that you're struggling with or you feel like you may struggle with, just kind of keep the self-watering container in mind. It don't matter what people say. Like they're good. And the funny thing about it, people are perfectly fine with you using it. When you say that's what you use, like, oh, okay. Yeah, I use one too, you know, so I don't know where that stigma got created. Maybe I made it up in my own mind, you know. But this plant needs to be fed as well with the food. All of my Monsteras, I'm going to tell you, they need to be fed. Each one that we go through, I'm going to repeat the same thing over to you again. Monsteras need to be fed because they are big, hungry plants. They just are, you know, so just keep that in mind. Every plant can use a good feeding, because if you take a look at any of these house plants that we own, if you look how they look, if you pay attention to how they look in the wild, That'd blow your mind. Like for real, like these plants are like 3, 4, 5 times bigger than what we consider to be big, you know? So we talked about the soil, we talked about feeding, then let's just talk about the light. This also prefers a lot of light, so I give it a grow light. This one gets 6 hours of grow light, and it's a little bit closer to the window. Although the window only hits this side of the plant, it's funny because you see that it's a lot of this plant that's growing this way. So the window does benefit in some type of way. Light, I keep the grow light. Again, I keep the grow light for 6 hours, the window open to get whatever light it gets. But the more light, the happier this plant will be. If I was to give this plant 12 hours of grow light, I believe it would be perfectly fine. It's time for me to add another extension on here. And if you saw it earlier when I did a close-up, I do have a dry leaf in here. All I have to do is get a Q-tip and some water, which, you know what? Let me go ahead and get it. All right, and this is another thing that you get some people who have mixed feelings about helping a plant out when it has a stuck leaf, if they should leave it alone or use a Q-tip. I like to use a Q-tip and give that leaf a chance, you know? All right, you're gonna see me just come in from the bottom of this leaf, and I'm slowly just going up. Slowly. All right, guys, I'm getting nervous. We did it. We did it. No harm was done to the plant. Now this plant has a chance, that leaf. You learn something, and every day you have to do something that you might didn't think about doing, you know. I can't even tell you the countless times that I've accidentally bumped a plant or done something and the plant's about to fall and I got my leg out and I have to improvise and what I use. It's good times. All right. By you seeing that leaf like that, then we definitely have a humidity issue. So this is the thing. I used to run my humidifier a whole lot, but I just all of a sudden stopped doing it. And it's because I realized that I want my plants to adjust to the natural elements in my house. And there's nothing wrong with the humidifier, and I will still run it if I feel like the air is really, really bad. But it's enough plants in here to be able to self-humidify themselves. And I just got tired of refilling up the humidifier every single day. And I didn't really see a huge care go up for my plants and using it. So, you know, I'm always for what things are very simple. So, yeah. And when you're growing with Sean, there's always something to learn.